hurting. Y'all should have been reading the signs. There's 20 different signs that said it. Like, what?
Hi, and welcome to my video. So this is the video of the old prison museum in Deer Lodge, Montana, which is located near Butte, Montana. Now, this prison was built in the 1870s. The original part is that big concrete pad right there. And there was prison on top of that. That was demolished at some point. I'm not really sure. This white building here is the administration building.
Cell house. Like, this is where the cell phone communications was from. You're out of bounds, though.
And as you can see right there, if you had walked past that, you would get shot. You weren't allowed there. This white building is the administration building. It is the newer of the structures here. And when I say newer, I mean it was built in like 1920s. So it's only 90 or 100 years old. The original wall here on the outside was actually built by prisoners out of sandstone. And this is like the entrance that used to be for the prison. Up on top is where that ladder goes, is where like the cool control room was and stuff like that. So yeah, this is one of the original entrances. That's where a guard sat, and he would unlock that and let you in. And if you could go up the ladder, you could go into the control room and stuff that's up there. And like I said, you could tell from the white building there was like a staircase going up to nothing. There was a whole nother prison block over there. This prison being over 150 years old, like I said, it was built before Montana was a state. So it's been here for a long time. There's plenty of info. You could always look it up if you want. Now this display is pretty cool.
Inmate Harry King Lord. Right? Hilarious.
So what this sign is basically saying is this guy, he considered himself the King of King, Lord of Lords, and he dressed in this crazy costume right here. And they just let him because they figured he wasn't hurting anybody. So this is the display to him.
Such as was the case of inmate Evans, a devout believer in his own form of religion, a correctional officer stated. Evans was the messenger of God and created his own costume.
Now, one cool thing about this prison is that they didn't go in and fix it all up or anything. The only reason that one prison block's missing is because there was an earthquake at some time. I didn't know those happened in Montana, but it was structurally unsound after 100-something years, and they tore it down sometime in the 1900s. This prison closed in 1979, or...
She's a little... I like her cat and her donut. And her ice cream cone, I'm guessing? I don't know.
So yeah, this prison opened in like the 1870s, closed in the late 1900s. It was in operation for a very long time. This is the administration building, as you can tell from all these offices and stuff. And like I was saying, a cool thing about this is that they didn't go in and like power wash the place and fix it all up and make everything. They've just left everything as it was. And that's really cool. And they also, as you can tell, just give you kind of free reign, and you can kind of walk around. You can't access every room. Trust me, I tried. I tried to see if I could walk up every staircase and stuff, but you can't. But they do let you poke around quite a bit. You could open drawers. You can do whatever you want. There was cameras in here, so I'm guessing somebody watched it. Now this is artwork from the prisoners right here that they have displayed. And some of it's pretty cool stuff. And as you can tell, some of these rooms are being somewhat renovated or fixed up.
Dude, I want this little bullet later to see one of those coal pipes. Like how there's like parts of the ceiling. They don't.
Yeah, well, it says under construction. They're fixing.
I know, but it's dope, you know? It's like real.
Yeah.
It's like you're going anywhere, what the fuck? It's like, no, that's what I want to see. I want to see the paint and stuff.
Now, like I was saying before, or I don't know if I said it, but the artwork that's like up there, that was the like prisoners artwork, so that's why those are like covered and stuff. And then here's a display with the wardens. one of the wardens, I guess, is pretty famous, and this was his office. He's responsible for most of the construction and most of what's at this prison. Apparently, he was also very notorious for being extremely corrupt, and he married like a debutante from Missoula, Montana, and he had prisoners build him a giant house that's across the street. And they also worked on his dairy farm, and he burned 500,000 tons of coal or some crazy stuff. I mean, he did tons of crazy stuff, and the governor of Montana eventually had to remove him, and he actually stayed the mayor of Deer Lodge for a long time until he died. That display was full of the shanks and other weird things. This prison was also notorious for a bunch of big problems. One of them was a riot that caused them to shoot a bazooka at the building and kill the prisoners. So that was fun. And you can see that later on. But here's like the guard station. As you can see, they got these like little mannequins. There's not a lot of them in here though. So it's early summer here in Montana, and it's probably in the 70s. It's a really nice day. One thing that is crazy about this prison, and it is so old, is they didn't have any type of heating, air conditioning. A lot of the original cells didn't have any type of plumbing. There was one shower for 400 inmates in the old prison block, things like that. So this part is, of course, like the original part of the prison. This was 1912, I believe it says on the other side. When we get to the other side, it'll say what the date is. And then there's a mock-up of gallows that they, of course, executed prisoners. And like I said, that wall there was actually built by the prisoners out of sandstone. But this is the main prison block. I believe this one's called prison block number 2. Like I said, number 1 is no longer there. It was attached to the white building on top of that big concrete pad. And you can tell because like the staircase goes up and then just ends right there at the end. So this part underneath here is what they called Siberia. And I'm going to tell you right now, like I said, it was in the 70s out there. Once you stepped in here, it was like mid-50s. It was a good 20-degree difference inside here, which would be kind of nice during the summer, I guess. But during the winters, it gets negative, 30 here in Montana. So you would be freezing your butt off. And it looks like they probably installed that radiator there to attempt to heat them. But as you can see, this prison cell has no type of plumbing or anything in it. It is literally just a concrete room with a bed. And then it looks like at some point maybe it had a toilet or something that they had installed. This was for like troubled prisoners, I believe they said, but there's a back end part that's really crazy. And it was for the even more troubled prisoners, this part over here.
In here to the left is something you're definitely going to want to see.
Okay.
It's better than the cat lady. Let me just tell you that. There is zero explanation for what you're about to see in here to the left. Other than art project,
This right here, inside 11.
inside to the yeah, you'll see it.
We're not gonna miss it. See a cell. See a bench. See some broken concrete. And that's
What?
a rat man.
Is it George Bush as a rat?
I don't know who that is, actually. This is a nice shower, though. Let's just
Yeah, I was
go.
actually the one who opened that jail cell right there, if you want to go in.
I went into one of the other ones.
No, but right, I just like that.
No, that's not George Bush because his hair is all
And
weird.
he's a rat.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know, right? I just like, what? No explanation. Oh, maybe it'll tell you if you look at number 11.
Yeah, it's probably some famous prisoner, and that's probably his art or something.
Yeah, like all the birds, they just keep flying in up there.
Up there through that hole.
It's like how many years after this pop bubble's been filled with birds.
So now that hole up there is actually where
Stand
in
underneath them, that's for sure.
1959, they shot the bazooka at the prisoners holding people. This building here to the
Yeah.
right-hand
I
side
mean, it's prison.
is where they made license plates and stuff, I guess. It was like the machine shops.
To a cell or more in those.
And those weren't open, but I bet there's just nothing in there. And you can't go into that big back area of the prison right there. I would have loved to go up there, but considering all those birds living in there, I'm sure it's not exactly safe or sanitary to be in there. But as you can tell, this prison facility is huge. I mean, it was the state penitentiary, though, so it makes sense.
Like bats.
Pigeons, too.
Mainly swallows once you walk away.
Oh, yeah, I see them. Can't not see them. Plenty of them.
There's like
Maximum security.
doesn't he?
I saw them, Tony. I sat there and like was recording them. I don't know how we couldn't see them.
Once you walked away, there was like more. I didn't see. I would totally work at a place like this. You know, like when I'm retired, I'm canteen mom. Like, what do? I fucking take out the dandelions over here. Why?
So now going down that walkway, you go to the maximum security, and there's another one of those guard towers just perched up on the wall. And here's the entrance to the main prison block. Right there it says built in 1912. And I must say, this place is really cool. So as you can see, no fixing up the paint or anything like that. There's a radiator right there and some old cool subway tile. And here you go, the tower block, the prison block as you would expect it. Now, right there on the right-hand side is the Montana Law Enforcement Museum. My brother went up in there. I didn't go up in there. I was more interested in seeing all this, and you'll see why. I thought I could only walk right here because you can't go up those stairs. It would have been cool to go up those stairs and run around up there, the catwalks and stuff, but it makes sense that they don't let you. And here's like library and weird stuff, and there was something even on
You can walk down this prison block.
Mennonites or something. I don't know what there was. There was Jehovah's Witness stuff there too.
Here's some famous people because there's a bunch of coins and stuff sitting on the bed. Whoever, number 15, cigarettes too.
And I must say, I was pleasantly surprised that they let you walk all the way around and you could go all the way to the other side where it was locked when you first walk in. And this is cool.
Oh, man.
And as you can see, these are the modern cells built only 90 years ago because they have toilets and stuff like that. So those showers right there,
There's your showers.
the interesting thing about that is if you notice there is 3 spigots. That is the showers for this entire block.
Conduit and piping.
And what they would do is line all the prisoners up. And one shower was to get wet. One was to use some soap.
So,
and one was to wash the soap
see
off.
something
And you
weird.
walked in a line
Every
all
one
the
of
way
these
down.
cells in here have a grocery bag from Food Cub. That one's Melissa Irvin, Terry Irvin, Ty Rosebrook, Ashley somebody, Billy Kulowski, Lacey Seymour, Anna Dixon, Brandon Dixon, Ali Fajot. Dude, I think they're doing something where you can stay the night in the prison. Justin, because if you look, all of these have a bag with somebody's name on them from Food Club. Look, Tom Harvey, Kelsey Harvey, and a lot of them are like kind of groupings. There's Kenneth Thompson. You can go all the way down and all the way around the other side.
Yeah, it's like Bushy Mountain Prison.
Yeah, there's Margaret Thompson. I mean, that one doesn't have a sink, so I think they gave Margaret a bowl. Well, that, who do we get? We got Anita Blackjam. She doesn't get a very nice mattress. Anita doesn't. But you got a mirror, so I mean, I guess you can't complain. Stephanie,
That'd be hilarious for like, see a clip and say these stairs straight.
Old Mountain Prison makes movie history. Runaway Train, Diggstown, The Last Ride, and Love Comes to the Executioner. Diggstown, dude. This is the prison from Diggstown. That's kind of funny.
I like the Jehovah Witness Bible classes.
Wasn't Randall Tex Cobden murdered in here? Wasn't he murdered in prison in Diggstown?
Randall Tex Scott's still alive.
No, in the movie. Diggstown, remember?
I know, where Homeboy is lots of movie, I know.
Yeah. Wasn't he murdered in prison? Wasn't that the deal?
I don't know, I don't remember the movie other than.
And this is where you went left into the prison block. You go right down this very steep staircase. And then here is the chapel room, as you can tell from the kind of vintage Christian cross in here that is made out of, like, I believe some lighting, and it's just like wood and some plastic or something. I don't know.
Prison's pretty cold.
There is 20 degrees colder down in the hall.
Look at this. I don't know what's in here.
And here's some tunnels that apparently run alongside the whole prison.
Some kind.
And I don't know if that
So
window there
prisoners-
is so they
you
can
you don't mess up in.
Well, when you go down the hole, you can see
stick a gun out at you or something.
Look, they got the door like pinned. It's you can go somewhere this way. And you can get little Coxson's ice cream. It's wherever that goes.
And as you can tell, this place is like a labyrinth. And there's they let you go around a whole
A shower
bunch of
room?
this building, but there's tons of it that you're not seeing. This place is pretty crazy. These hallways are super narrow, and the stairs are really steep. And this takes you down to solitary confinement, otherwise known as the hole.
This is the hole.
And you will see it is completely dark and black, and there is no
Yeah, it doesn't suck.
plumbing or anything in here. And I don't know where that
Oh,
staircase
reserve
takes
room.
you.
Bad inmates, basically. Oh, you can't see nothing in here. Oh yeah, that's not gonna drive you completely batshit insane. Totally healthy for you. Oh, here's maybe where that hallway went? No, it's the bathroom. The toilet don't work, it says. Which I wouldn't have thought it would.
So as you can see, this place is like a labyrinth. You got that staircase there. There was a big doorway on the left-hand side, and then there was that weird room, and then the room with just a toilet. That's probably for the solitary confinement. And then there was a room to the left, and I don't know what that was. This is the shower facility that was added when the white building was added in the late 20s, early 30s. And then coming out of that is the hallway going to the mess area where you can eat, and the recreation room, and then access to that tunnel system. And then at the end, there's a room that they currently use as a theater.
Look at that little guy. But that'll entertain you. The tunnel. Oh, here's what it was. That went to the school. That went that way.
And I don't know why I didn't go down that hallway. I kind of now, as I'm watching this video, editing this, I wish I went down there. And as you can see, it looks like they've kind of have the food area. They have these trays and the ketchup and mustard bottles and stuff out. And I'm wondering if this is where the people that are going to be staying in those cells for whatever the thing is are possibly going to come in here and eat. And this kind of threw me for a loop. This is where the bathrooms are. And there's an upstairs to this that we're not allowed in. So there's a whole upstairs floor above us.
Once Upon a Wolf. Stage Left presents live theater, Deer Lodge, Montana. Gunport Theater, Old Prison Museum.
And as you can see, this is all chain linked, and here's the theater, and they do plays and stuff in here.
Actual plays and stuff in here. Interesting. Okay. It's kind of cool. Well, is there anything worthwhile at maximum security?
I didn't go over there.
Okay.
So yeah, we just came out of the bottom door right there, to the right, and they didn't let you, as you can see, this is closed off, to go upstairs. I'm assuming it was more cells or something of that nature. Oh, actually, no, it isn't cells. That is the upstairs part that we were in earlier from the other side. So that's what that is. Okay. That white building right over there, that, like I said, was like the machine shop and everything. And then this sign here, we're walking right now to maximum security. The sign here tells you about how in 1959, during the worst of the prison riots at the building, and like 2 inmates killed 3 inmates and had 8 hostages or something, the Montana State Guard or whatever shot a bazooka and then used a Thompson machine gun to kill them. So this is the maximum security building, and it's in its own yard, and they moved the women prisoners over here and made this the women's prison at some point, so that way they were aside. But as you can tell, the building originally had windows, and you can see that they were all closed up at some point. And there's that guard tower up there on top. And there was an area where they also farmed vegetables and stuff and everything, and I think that was on the other side of the wall. It's probably just an empty field now. But as you can see, this is like a self-contained area, and I like the little guard shack up on the corner up there.
1907 women's prison.
And as you can see, 1907 is when this is built, so there's no amenities in these in these cells. And here's your bathroom and your shower for the entire cell block. And this is some famous person. I don't know who this is, but people have thrown coins and stuff. And they have that false wall built there.
And $1.
And that goes out the other entrance that was on the other side of that barbed wire fence when you walked in. So I don't know why that's blocked off now, but apparently that wasn't a cell. They've made it into the one for whoever that famous lady is. People have left money and thrown coins and stuff and cigarettes, just like they did with the other one with the other 2 guys. So now this building directly in front of us is famous. Oh, here's the canteen.
The canteen.
And the canteen, of course, is where you would get your, goodies and stuff.
Here's the theater.
The theater is super famous. It was known as like the Pride of Montana. It was built by one of the copper barons. And it is gutted on the inside. And the reason it's gutted is it caught fire in 1975 or something like that.
Generosity of W.A.M.A. Clark Jr., 1919.
But apparently this
It's 100
theater
years old.
held like 1,000
Kinda
people
looks like it.
and had super fancy things in this, and they did stuff for the whole state in this theater at the prison. It wasn't just for prisoners, but after a movie in the 70s, it caught fire, and it was on fire for 2.5 hours before anybody knew. And now it's basically just being inhabited by pigeons. You can hear them. There's a ton of them. But as you can tell, it's just a shell. But yeah, this is the state prison here at Montana, at the Old Montana State Prison Museum. And
you can actually see it. Those stairs are crazy cool.
too bad you can't really see very well with the GoPro through this mesh.
Yeah, there's some ornate stairs and an upstairs balcony, most likely, or was. It's just a shell now. Bunch of pigeons living in there. Super cool.
But as you can tell, this prison is super cool. If you are ever in this area, I would definitely suggest going to it. I did bring my other camera and took a bunch of photos, and that's what these photos are the ones I took. If you have made it to the end of this video and you would like me to send you a photo that I'll print out on my computer for you, or even just email you some, look in the description. I'll leave my email address in there, and hit me up and I'll send you some copies of the photos I took. But anyways, I hope you liked this video. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, all that fun stuff. And like I said, if you're ever in the area, go to it, and I'll have the car museum video too soon. Thanks.